Buried Treasures brought to you by EB Games.
All right, check this one out. I got Crash Bash on the PlayStation. Now you're thinking to yourself, wait a second, everybody knows Crash Bandicoot, right? But they may not know Crash Bash. This was actually the very first Crash Bandicoot game that the original developer, Naughty Dog, didn't work on. Now this kind of was like Mario Party in a way, you know, you had a lot of mini games and there's tournament modes and all sorts of different modes, but it's all about the multiplayer. But they had amazingly cool stuff. They had like this pogo stick thing where you jump around, you try to change the blocks different colors, and they had this polar bear thingy where you're on this big block of ice and you're trying not to fall off this thing. There's actually over 30 mini games in this. Really awesome fun. Now, if you wanted to play 4-player, you actually have to have the multi-tap for the PlayStation, which is a bit of a bummer, but, you know, for all you multiplayer freaks out there, you probably have one anyway, so you put it in. But even as a 2-player game, it's actually really good. They got all your favorite characters in there. You got your Crash, your Dingo Dial, Koala Kong, of course Coco's in there, and Cortex as well. I highly recommend getting this. It's a lot of fun to play, especially with people who maybe aren't into video games and not hardcore gamers, but they just want to kind of, you know, something you can like bring your girlfriend in and play. Hey, come on, let's play, and she'll get into it. So, highly recommend for a date game, Crash Bash.
Hey, we're back. We're going to talk now about ATV Quad Power Racing 2 from Acclaim for the GameCube. It's also out on the Xbox and PlayStation 2. This is kind of similar to what Sony's been doing and Rainbow Studios has been doing with ATV Off-Road Fury for the PlayStation 2.
But that's the thing, is that it's nowhere near the quality that
It isn't.
But the controls are nice.
The controls are awesome.
The physics are nice.
Very good physics.
When you do some, you know, it's easy to control, it's easy to get into.
You can kick people.
See, that's the best part of the game, is that you can kick people. Now, the problem, though, is that when you're kicking people, it's really hard. You have to do it too accurately.
I don't like the rider animations that much. They're not as detailed, and they don't look as cool. The riders themselves don't actually look as cool as they do in Off-Road Fury.
Especially when they go flying off the bikes, which happens a lot. They kind of look like little stick figures or something.
You also don't get all the licensed ATVs that you do in the Off-Road Fury game. They're all just sort of generic titled ATVs, but that means that everybody's racing on the same ones, which kind of balances out the races. Not only do you get these single race mode and the championship race mode like you do in every kind of racing game like this, but you also get these challenges, and one of them is sort of the ground-based challenge where you get to slalom from the start to the finish line and beat your times. You can also do wheelies from the start to the finish line, and as long as you can keep your front wheels off the ground, the more points you'll win. You might get a gold medal or something.
That's good.
But what I loved about this game, what I thought was the most fun, is the fact that you get these tower challenges. And basically what happens here, you jump into these arenas with all of these different towers that you have to climb up. They've got skinny little tracks that you have to stay on with big bumps. There's some curved surfaces that you have to stay on. You know, you have to gain control on and keep your balance on.
The one thing that annoyed me about the actual races, though, is that if you go off track, now remember, this is an ATV.
Yeah.
You ever been to Pismo Beach, like I've been, and you're going crazy, and you go anywhere you want, wherever you want, and it's kind of like freestyle mode, right?
Right.
Well, in this, if you go off the track, they reset you back on the track.
If you have a PlayStation 2, you can pretty much ignore this game because the one to get is Off-Road Fury 2, 8 out of 10.
I'm giving it a 7.
On the positive side, the game features some great graphics, especially the reflection off the water. You can kick people. That one's for you, Tommy. But the best part for me had to be the tower challenges. They're just so much fun.
On the negative side, the riders don't look all that great. I would have liked the races to be a little more free-flowing and not get penalized for going off the track. And finally, I wanted the kicking accuracy to be way easier.
Here's a quick recap on all the baseball games we talked about on this show. World Series Baseball 2K3 from Sega for the Xbox was the first one we looked at. It's also my favorite of the year. MVP 2003 from EA Sports, a very good baseball game, just a little bit shy of the top spot. High Heat Baseball 2004 for the PlayStation 2 and PC, an improvement over last year's game, but still not as polished or as fun as World Series is. On the PlayStation 2, we looked at MLB 2004 from 99 Sports, This was the worst baseball game I played this year.
I actually liked it a lot more than Vic, especially the pitching and batting.
Acclaim gave us All-Star Baseball 2004. We looked at it on the GameCube and PlayStation 2. This game's got great extras, but it doesn't have the fun or the presentation value that you find in other games. Finally, the last game we looked at was MLB Slugfest 2004 for Midway for the PlayStation 2. If you love baseball and like extreme sports, you're going to freak out for Slugfest. On the Xbox, we took a look at Furious Karting. The mix of almost accurate kart racing physics and fantasy weapons shows that this game doesn't know what it wants to be. On the GameCube, we looked at ATV Quad Power Racing 2. This is a fun, good-looking ATV game with a great challenge mode, but it's still overshadowed by Sony's ATV Off-Road Fury 2. In hardware, we took a look at Logitech's NetPlay controller for the PlayStation 2. It's a pretty cool idea to combine a keyboard and controller into one unit. It's just too bad the price is so steep. On the Game Boy Advance, I reviewed Super Monkey Ball Jr. This game's actually got a 3D engine in it. It's just too bad that the choppiness interferes with the precision you need to play the game properly. So there you have it. Baseball, farting, and kicking people off their ATVs. What more could you want out of a TV show?
And you even got a high heat review in there, too.
We'll see you guys next time on Judgment Day.
You know, there's nothing I quite like better than sitting in the Shire than playing an ATV game.
What accent is that?
It's kind of half Hobbit, half English, kind of Irish, but not really good of any of them. Hello, how are you doing? My name is Tommy. What is your favorite game? And the response is, ugh. That's one person.